Well, it's been a little while since we've done one of these, so I thought it's the start of May, so why not have a little look around the whole plot and see how things are looking. It's a bit rubbish weather-wise this morning for this. It's been a lovely week. You know what, the start of May, the temperatures have gone right up, especially overnight, but I've come out to do this morning and it's a bit dull, it's a bit wet, it's drizzling right now, which actually I'm okay with. I was up here yesterday doing loads of jobs. One thing I did forget to do yesterday, but it's just as well, is I've got some nematodes to put out. And you know, when you're doing the nematodes and you put them out, it needs to be wet, really, all the soil needs to be wet. And it has been really dry. Like I say, it's been lovely for the past week or so, and it was dry. So I'm okay with it being a bit wet. Anyway, let me come over there, we'll pick you up, we'll have a look around and we'll see how things are looking at this time of year. So we'll start off here right up at the top of the patch, and let me just move you around here. We've got one of the lovely apple trees. This is its second year, so it's still just a bit small, a bit young. There's some blossom on it, plenty of blossom on it at the moment. I think it's lovely with the blossom on, to be honest. It's looking nice, looking good. We might see some apples on it, we'll see. The other one over here, the second tree that we put in this year, is still looking a bit small, especially compared to its neighbour here. That's definitely looking a little bit bigger. And in behind that, in amongst all this mess, all the grass, honestly, I cleared this all out over the winter and it's come back with a vengeance. I've got all the raspberries in here that are starting to grow, but yet again, I will eventually do something with this bit at some point, but we'll see. Just down at this end of the plot, you can see all the way along here, this is where we fixed the fence again over the winter. That's doing a smashing job. But the comfrey over here that we make the comfrey tea from, that's coming back, it's looking good. And all down in the space here, you can see it's been cleared, is yesterday there was nettles in there. And I know you can make nettle tea. Comfrey tea is about as much as I'll do nettles, but honestly, you should have seen the roots on those nettles. Big, tough, woody, nettly roots. It was horrible. I had 2 pairs of gloves on to protect my hands. Nothing much in this bed. This bed in here, we've got some tiny little beetroots that have only just gone out. I feel like I'm behind a little bit. I don't think I am, but I don't know. I'd like them to be a little bit bigger at this time of year, but there's plenty of time left yet, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Over here, some little beetroots there, sort of couldn't fit in that bed, a bit of a beetroot spillover. And then we've got one of the new obelisks that we've put in here, and that's got the sweet peas at the bottom there. They're just starting to pick up. You can see them just sort of pointing upwards. I'll show you the ones that look a little bit sad in a minute there, but these ones are just starting to pick up. They're starting to look okay. They probably need tied in again a little bit further up just to help train them up the obelisk. But I'm hoping, again, another couple of weeks, plenty of rain, plenty of sunshine, they'll be looking. At the moment, it probably does need picking soonish. It's still, most of it's still been a little bit green. Look, we'll have a little look in here. You can still see it's not massively red. What I have noticed though is this one here at the top and the one right down at the end here, there's been quite a lot of flowers on it this year, which is unusual. So obviously I've been clearing the flowers off sort of as I've been around and about it, getting it sorted so it doesn't take all the energy out of the rhubarb. But it has been a bit flowery, but I'm just waiting again. Maybe it's for those temperatures just to pick up a little bit more sunshine, just to get some redness onto the stems of the rhubarb, perhaps to make it, you know, sweeten it up a little bit so it's not quite so bitter. So this area here, this has had a little bit of work done on it over the winter. The path needs a bit of work still over there up the middle and whatnot, but you know, I'll get to that as and when I've got time. These are the 2 new beds that went in. We are going to have arches. There's going to be 3 archways go over the middle of these 2 beds, over the top of this little path here. So there's nothing much to see here until they are done. Speaking of this little path, let's walk down it. Now this is the asparagus bed, and it looks messy. Yes, I need to take the weeds out of it. Yes, asparagus doesn't like growing with other things. I'd almost given up hope on it. Over the winter, you know, over the sort of early springtime, we had terrible flooding. All this bit out here floods and the water comes in. All this was flooded, and asparagus doesn't like getting wet. And I was like, oh no, I hope it's not done for. But look, the asparagus, I don't know if you can just about see it here. We've got some there. We've got some there, so it is starting up here, and I'm chuffed a bit because they were just put in last year, the sort of bare root asparagus plants that were put in there last year, and I was a bit worried. That's probably why the weeds are in there, because I'd kind of given up hope and thought, oh, it's done for. So Next job today, after the nematodes, all the weeds are coming out of the asparagus bed, so we're gonna give it some TLC, right? Anyway, back down this path. The potatoes, I'm doing all my potatoes in buckets this year. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 here at the moment. I reckon I'll probably get about another 3 in there as well. I've got the main crops left to do. You can see the very early ones that we put out here are absolutely flying. The early ones just poking their heads up there, and we've got some that are just not quite there yet. But again, they've all been planted at different times, different stages, so we don't get that big old glut of carrots all in one go. Next up, carrot bed number 2. Carrot bed number 1's over the other side, but we'll do number 2 first. This bed here has got the touchon carrots in it. Those of you who saw the carrot video the other week there, you know the sort of technique that we used to do the carrots in there. Again, I'm tempted actually, this is Enviromesh that's over the top of this. I'm tempted to put a layer of fleece on top of the soil just to aid germination. I've not quite done it yet. I thought when I came back today I might have seen some signs of germination, and there isn't any. But we'll see. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. The onion bed. Now, it's only about half full. So this end down here isn't entirely full yet. It doesn't have any in yet. We have got the Rinsberger onions back in the greenhouse still, but they're looking a bit small. There's a bit of a story about them. But let me try and get close to the net. Can you see them through there? That is the Bedfordshire Champion onions that I've put in there. There's maybe about 20 in there at the moment. We've got some other ones over there that we'll go and have a look at, but we got them in yesterday, so they're looking good. That bed took a little bit of tidying, but we'll see. But speaking of tidying this out, this area is a bit of a mess here. I sometimes look, this is all the bit that I've done over the winter where I lifted the wood chips and put the new wood chips down, and then I can see quite clearly the bits that I didn't quite get to, and I started clearing this yesterday and ran out of time. You can sort of see I got up to here, so that's another job on my list, is to try and get this path done, this path done, this path done, this path done, and the end of this path, but we'll come to that. Nothing in this bed. This bed was some brassicas that I put out over the winter and a bit of an experiment. You can probably see by the flowers on top of them that it's not gone too well, but what I did notice was interesting this morning. Look at the slugfest on top of this net. You see them all, look at them. There's 1, 2, there's probably 10 slugs knocking about the top of this net. So they'll all be getting picked off and disposed of. And I guess I should probably clear that bed out. That bed's going to be attracting the slugs. So we'll get that cleared out, get rid of the slugs and get the nematodes down. So over here, again, it's a little bit untidy in terms of the edging needs done round here, the path needs sorted and whatnot, but we've got some more beetroot in here. All the beetroot in the beds is Bolt Hardy. That's the variety I've gone for this year. It's absolutely rock solid, you know, it's a brilliant variety. We have got some Bedfordshire Champion onions now. I put these over here. These were the sort of runts of the litter, so to speak. These were the ones that were a bit smaller than the other ones, and I had this bed over here and I thought, oh, you know what, just put them in, let them go away in this bottom corner of the allotment, and we'll see how it gets on. Nothing in the big metal bed at the moment. I started weeding it yesterday in this little bit here, but you can see it needs a little bit more work. Now, I did have a plan for what to do in here with a big display of flowers this year, but I've had some germination issues with some fancy flowers that I'd got, and it's not quite worked out quite how I'd hoped it to. So change of plans, something different. Nothing. We're not going the polytunnel, nothing to see in there, but a big old mess at the moment. I reckon another 2 weeks, because I've got some things with work and I'm going away a few places and whatnot. So once I'm back and I'm in there, we'll get that sorted. Right, we've got the garlic over here. The garlic's going all right. It's just sort of keep on keeping on as the garlic does. We've got some kohlrabi under the nets here. This is Cossack F1, the variety. You can see there the little slugs have had a bit of a go. They like the dying leaves. Often when the bottom leaves of these things start to die off, the slugs and the snails love that sort of thing. So again, we'll get the nematodes in this bed. That bed over there is a mess. This bed over here, this is carrot bed number 1. Again, we'll tell you what we'll do. Let's take the lid off and have a look. You can see here there's no germination in it yet, so it's still waiting for those little carrots to pop their heads up, but nothing more there yet. This bed's asleep at the moment, but the leeks will be going in that as soon as they're ready. These are the Red Baron onions. Now, they've only been in there a couple of weeks, so they're still just finding their feet. They're just not quite ready to show off yet. Now these here, these are, let me get this right, sensu onions. And I noticed yesterday something has nibbled the top of them and there was a bit of a gap down here, and I've sort of fixed it the way this was out of alignment. Let me just move this back. Now you might have noticed just a little bit of a funny edit there, a little bit of a glitch in the matrix, and there's a reason for that. Now when I did the tour and I finished filming and I did some drone footage. Hopefully you'll see the drone footage in the tour, because I think it looked quite cool and about it. And I was wondering what had been eating the sensu onions, and I can't believe I didn't spot this before when I was filming. And after this little segment here, you will see me going over there and talking about rats and things that are coming in. That's very valid. There's still maybe an issue with that, but let me just show you this. Look at this. Look what I've just spotted. Look at the slugs on the onion. Look at broad daylight right there on the onion. There's one there, there's one there, there's two over there, there's one on the top of that one, and there's one busy climbing up the stem of that. I didn't even think slugs really went for alliums. I wonder if it's because there's not been much else about for them at this time of year. There's plenty of weeds over there they could go and eat, but they're not interested in the weeds, are they? They only want to eat them. But anyway, good and bad. I mean, it's bad that the slugs are eating them, but it's good that I now know what it is, and now I can deal with this. Anyway, back to the rest of the tour. We've got some little lettuces in here. These were just put in yesterday. They've come on lovely. There is iceberg and little gem. Rest of this bed's going to get sorted out. This is a bit of a, I've mentioned before about leaving a little bit of space for things that are unexpected, things that people might give you, or plants you've not expected. That's what this space is. That's what's going to go in there. We've got some little flowers at the front here. I forgot to mention, little violas just here and just here. And I think, you know, if we take a step back, it just adds a lovely little splash of colour at this time of year. You know, things are just starting to pick up. It's still a bit brown, a bit green, so I thought we'd add a little spot over a couple of times. You can probably see, let's wander around the back here. You can probably see this one's not, maybe it's not been done yet. It's a bit messy. We've got the compost spinning behind, but what there was here, speaking of things that have been nibbling the onions over there, and I filled them in yesterday, you can just see it. I don't know if you just about see it there. There was holes in the ground here, so something's obviously been coming up through the holes. And if we move back here into the leaf mould, there was a big hole here and here, so something's obviously been in and about here as well. This is all going to get cleared out in the next week or so. I'm going to use it to top up some of the beds, but something has definitely been coming in. I don't know what it is yet. I think we're going to have to get the trail cam out again to perhaps have a look to see what we can catch. I'm pretty sure it's probably rats again, because the rabbit, I think we're on top of the rabbits. I was down here nice and early, this is early this morning. All the rabbits were at the top end where I parked the car, and I came down here and there was no rabbits, nothing in the plot, nothing like that. So I think it's either rabbits or it's gonna be mice, one of the two. Not sure which. Right. This is the second obelisk we've got in the sweet peas are looking a bit sad here, honestly. They look not great, but again, they'll pick up. They'll come on. Honestly, the next few weeks, what a difference this will make here when they've picked up and they come along. Nothing much here. This bed, just you can see the weeds poking out the side here. I need to get rid of them actually. Nothing in this bed yet. Something will go in it. Not sure what yet. This is the giant round bed we've been filling. All the paths that I did before. Well, I showed you we've got the new wood chip down. This is all the old wood chip in there off the paths at the bottom of there. There's sticks and twigs and all sorts of stuff. And last but not least, the strawberry bed. It's looking all right. Again, the path needs a little bit of work, and I've just spotted some more nettles down here that'll have those horrible woody roots, so we'll have to do something about them. But you can see we're starting to get some little flowers and some little strawberries that are looking good. Again, it's a little bit not quite, you know, so picturesque as you would kind of hope it to be, but you know, that's life. That's just how things look at this time of year. Anyway, that's me done for today. Hope you've enjoyed that look around, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, folks.